What is up, guys? I am excited to share with you the first in-person workshop that we've ever done here with AROSS Welding. We had 4 participants. We had a good time. We learned a lot. I know I learned a lot, and I got a lot of good feedback from everybody who came. The first thing we did was kick it off with a little bit of coffee and hanging out and networking, enjoying the beautiful morning, the beautiful weather here in Cushing, Oklahoma. For those of you who may not know, the workshop that we done was over the 12-on-12 branch weld test. So on most pipeline jobs, to get on the pipeline job, you got to take a test. And the first test is a normal butt weld. A lot of times it's 12-inch, a lot of times it's the size of pipe that you're going to be welding on that project. It just depends. But after that, no matter what the first test is, like 80-90% of the jobs that I went on, probably 90% of the jobs that I went on whenever I was pipelining, was the 12-on-12 branch test. And that's what I wanted to walk these guys through in this workshop. So first in line, we have Adam. He's 42 years old. He come and seen us all the way from California, North Los Angeles area. Next is Caleb with a K. He is 17 years old. Him and his grandpa joined us from Wichita area, I believe, Wichita, Kansas area. And third, we had Caleb with a C. He's 15 years old. His dad is Leo. I worked with Leo years ago on a pipeline job. Some of you may remember him. He's the one with the pink welding machine, the pink SA200. And Leo actually helped me mentor or instruct these guys as I was trying to, get through this first workshop since I had never done it before. So I was thankful that Leo was here and here to be of help and mentor these guys. And lastly, we got Matthew. He is 21 years old. He came all the way from Iowa. Some of you may also recognize the welding bed. That is the welding bed that we built here on the YouTube channel, and Matthew is the proud owner of that welding bed. I also just want to take a moment to thank Dustin and Leo's fiance, Justine, for filming this whole experience for us. So we would not be able to talk about this video right now if it wasn't for them two. So thank you to both very much for your efforts in filming all of this first workshop. So like I said earlier, I learned a lot through this first workshop. A lot I would do different as I was literally in the moment going through these 2 days teaching this class. And one thing I will most likely change on the next workshop, which is March 8th and 9th coming up. So save your calendars, check out AROSSWELDING.school if you want to join the next in-person workshop. That is March 8th and 9th, 2025. Also, because it's the holiday season, by the way, happy Thanksgiving. I hope you're having an awesome Thanksgiving week. But because it's the holiday season, we wanted to offer you a really good discount on the next in-person workshops. So we got, the next ones are March 8th and 9th, 2025, and May 3rd and 4th, 2025. You can go sign up for those there at our trade school website, AROSSWELDING.school. But from now until December 5th, 2024, you can save 24% off of your purchase. To take advantage of the sale, make sure and use the discount code HOLIDAY24, all caps, no spaces, at checkout. So we wanted to offer that to you since it's the holiday season. So take advantage of that if you're interested in these in-person workshops. And also any of the other courses that are on our trade school website, AROSSWELDING.school. So now's the time to save money. Head on over to AROSSWELDING.school and get your learning on, if you will. But in that workshop, I will probably not use coated pipe. The thought process behind this was so they would have experience burning off the coating, because on the rare occasion you may have a pipeline contractor that only has coated pipe to test with, and so I wanted them to have this experience. However, I think I can just have a piece of coated pipe there and we can just demonstrate how, a couple of different ways, how you can burn off the coating. I don't think it's worth the time and whatnot to do that by hand for the whole workshop. So that's something I would change right off the bat. But as you can see here, we did that here. Next, I taught them to lay out the branch versus using a template. So again, this is not very common, at least from my experience as a pipeline welder. In the 8 years I pipeline welded, I think I only had to lay it out like twice, if I remember correctly. But on the rare occasion, I think it's good to know how to lay it out. And also, if you don't have a template, or if you forget your template back home, if you've been off a pipeline job for a while, or if the template you have doesn't fit good, you can just always count on that blue book and being able to lay out the branch. And so I wanted these guys to do it, or to have the experience doing it. So that's not to mention, let's back up a little bit, not to mention how valuable it is just to know how to lay out any saddle and just kind of get a feel and become a one with that pipe, if you will. If there's anything I've learned over the years about welding on pipe and fabricating pipe and doing custom angles on pipe fence and gates and stuff, like custom angles with a saddle, is it just is very good to know. It's very good to know the concept of segmenting your pipe and being able to saddle it by way of segmenting it, and just learning that process. I think it's a good, valuable thing to learn as a welder fabricator in general. So a couple of reasons why I wanted to include and will continue to include laying out the branch in the workshop here in person. I wasn't sure how long this first workshop would take. In fact, whenever I first was thinking about it and dreaming it up, I was only going to do it for one day until I talked to my brother-in-law, my sister's husband. He teaches at the Votech in Stillwater, Oklahoma, where I actually went to welding school. He teaches out there now, and he said he had a couple of high school students do the branch, and he said it took them quite a while. And so I'm thankful that I got that feedback from him before we started this, because it was well worth it to make this a 2-day event. I thought about doing in the future, offering like a more intensive branch workshop, so people can get a feel of actually going to test, needing to get there at 7, traveling a day or two before, get there at 7 the next day, and do the butt weld and the branch all in less than 8 hours, because that's how it is on a real test day. But for this beginner course, I think I want to keep it, or this course / workshop, this beginner workshop, I guess you could say. I liked that it was 2 days, because it gave us, it just slowed it down and it made it more enjoyable. So like I said, we were able to have coffee that morning. We didn't start till 8, drink coffee for about 30-45 minutes, and then we started in on this branch test. So yeah, all that to say is I wasn't sure how long it was going to take, but my timing, we were actually on, because I sat down and wrote down how long I thought everything would take, and I was pretty good. I think we were actually ahead of schedule the first day, so we actually were able to shut down about 4. But my goal by the end of the first day was to be ready for everybody to be fit up, ready to tack, and I think we had everybody tacked up by the end of the first day. So the second day was all about welding. But before we ended the first day, around noon, we ordered pizza and we went into the banquet hall, and we just were able to network with each other, get to know one another, and have a good meal, and just enjoy a good hour, if not longer, of just hanging out, enjoying the vibe, and getting to know one another. That's another thing that we wanted this workshop to be for, is for networking, meeting others in the industry, practicing that networking skill, and just kind of getting out of that shell and getting to know others, ask questions about others. So I'm glad that the guys had a chance to do that, not only for lunch, but also for dinner. We took them out to eat Saturday night to the Mexican restaurant here in town. Again, another good opportunity to hang out and get to know one another and visit. And then, like I said, the next day was all about welding. Wait a minute, pump the brakes. I about left out all the footage of these guys cutting out their branch and fitting up their branch. So check these guys out as they cut and fit their branch, and then we'll move on to the next day, the welding. So from 1 to 1 and 3 to 3, you want to make a continuous cut, and you want to try to stay 90, with the pipe. Again, I want to mention here something else that I learned through this workshop, which was how valuable the branch process is in general. So Adam from California messaged me and asked me before he purchased this workshop, and he asked me, he said, I have 0 pipe welding experience. Do you think, it'd still be worth it for me to come? And I thought about it, and I was like, well, I mean, the branch is essentially a pipe weld. It's just you got to do it kind of in all positions. You can kind of do it all downhill, but you will end up welding uphill a little bit in all areas. But I mean, you put in a bead, you put in a hot pass, and you cap the filler and you cap it. So, I didn't expect anybody to ask me that question, but I'm thankful he did, because it and then especially after he got here and went through the workshop, and after I got his feedback, I learned how valuable, what all, not only how valuable, but what all is involved in just the branch test. So they got to learn how to fit because we laid it out. They got to learn a little bit from the blue book. They got to do torch cutting skills. They got to learn how to fit with a grinder, take your high spots down to get everything fitting good. But on top of that, even without an actual 2 bevels to weld together, they got pipe welding experience. So even though Adam had never welded pipe, as far as he said 0 pipe welding experience. I should have asked him more details, has he ever welded in a bevel? Because I feel like some of us, as a structural welder, sometimes sometimes you've welded pipe, but you haven't actually done it in bevels, and kind of been taught about the tie-ins on your bead pass and everything, on your root pass and whatnot. So anyway, all that to say is, a guy with 0 pipe welding experience got to experience some pipe welding with this branch test, and I think that's neat. I wouldn't even have thought to ask that question. In fact, I kind of got lucky because of the things that I needed the participants to have. So some of the things that you had to have to join this workshop was you had to have your own welding truck, your own welding machine, a set of bottles for your torch, a hand torch, 4.5-inch grinder, and I believe a minimum of 2 to 4 jack stand. By these guys just having their own welding setup, it kind of made sure, in a way, that they had some welding experience. So each one of these, or I'm going to say on average, every one of these participants had welding experience, a year to 2, give or take. I would say Caleb with the C, Leo's boy, probably had the least amount of welding experience. I could be wrong on that though. I'm just going to say on average they all had a year or 2 worth of welding experience. I think Caleb with a K had some pipe welding experience, but I want to say the other 3, I don't think they had very much pipe welding experience at all. I know Adam didn't have any pipe welding experience. Caleb with a C, I think Leo said that he hadn't welded pipe at all. He had welded structural stuff, but he never actually welded pipe. And then Matthew, I would venture to say he hadn't had very much either, but I'm not sure. So all I know is they had very little pipe welding experience, and they were all able to get through this branch, which brings me to the last part of the last day of this workshop, which is the straps that they were able to experience cutting out and nicking. So nicking is what we do on the branch test. We also do some nicks on our bell hole, depending on the procedure and the particular test for that particular gas company, for that particular pipeline job. But on the branch, all you can do to test the welds, or not all you can do, but one of the tests that you can do is you nick your welds. And all that is taking a zip disc and grinding it into the side of your welds and across the face. And all you're doing is controlling that break, because you want to break the weld in the middle of the weld, and you want to see if there's any slag in there. And even though these guys had hardly any pipe welding experience. All but one of them had pretty well clean straps. One had some dirty straps, which I was grateful for, because I could show them what dirty straps looked like, you know, what slag looks like inside a brake. And I think there was one or two other ones that had, you know, some stuff that may have been within code, but I'm not a inspector or whatever. I don't have that criteria, so I'm not sure what's allowed as far as the amount. And honestly, it depends on the procedure and the actual criteria for that exact test. So it varies depending on what test you're taking. But anyway, they got to experience that. I mean, they went through the full-blown pipeline branch, 12-on-12 branch test. And like I said, I got a lot of good feedback from them. I got to know them a little bit, and I'm just extremely grateful for all of you who came and seen us. All of you who took the chance on me to teach you in our first workshop. But also I want to thank everybody else who was there helping. My buddy Jared come by. He's a pipeline welder, been pipeline welding for several years.
It don't all look like that. That still looks good though.
I'm not a seasoned inspector. Like a little something right there, huh, Jared? Or no? Freaking good, man. Next. So he come out and helped, especially on the weld day. And then Marty, a guy that I've known, he was a pipeline welder for his whole career. He come out and visited for a little bit. Mike, the local machinist, he come out and seen us Sunday. I just want to thank everybody who came and supported us for our first workshop. I had a good time. I hope you did as well. And like I said earlier, to sign up for the next in-person workshops, head on over to AROSSWELDING.school, and to save 24% off of your purchase, make sure and use the discount code HOLIDAY24, all caps. That code is also good for all the other online courses there at our trade school website, AROSSWELDING.school, and the code is only valid until December 5th, 2024. And lastly, for those of you who may not have the means to travel all the way to Oklahoma for the in-person workshop, I did want to let you know that I am creating an online 12-on-12 branch course. That way you can be walked through by way of videos. It may not be a full-on course like we were going to build at one time, but it's going to be mostly video tutorials broke down nice and neat. That way you know exactly how I personally do the branch in every little step, and you can learn it online. Obviously you'll have to supply your own pipe and all your consumables and stuff, but it is going to be the next best option to the in-person. You can't beat in-person, in my opinion. It's a whole different vibe in person, but I understand that not everybody has the means to travel to Oklahoma, don't want to, don't need to, but maybe you want to practice the branch. And so that's why I'm creating this course, this video tutorial course. To get notified whenever that course is done, go to AROSSWELDING.school, and somewhere on that page you can sign up for my newsletter, and I will send you an email whenever the course is available. So be looking forward to that. Again, I want to thank everybody who supported me in this first in-person workshop. Thank you to everybody who came and all of your support. I greatly appreciate every single one of you. I appreciate you for being here watching this video, and have an awesome day. I hope you're having an awesome Thanksgiving week. And remember, learn something every day.